Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sun Up on 7. It's Halloween, and of course, we cannot miss out the Monday morning beef on Halloween because it's quite spooky. It's quite scary today. Jules, how are you feeling today?
I am scary
Happy
every day.
Halloween. Yes?
My face is a costume. My
All right.
face is a mask.
There you go.
So-
But you're Jake from State Farm today. So for the rest
I'm
of the
Jake from
beef,
State
I will
Farm.
be referring to you as Jake. You still keep the Jake, you know? You understand?
Jules.
Transition.
Yeah, there we go.
Jake from State Farm. I feel like, I feel criminally underdressed, but right at home. Right at home.
Well, happy Halloween, Jules. It's good.
Happy Halloween.
We're dressed up and we're quite in the vibe.
We are.
I
and
see that. I was kind of surprised. I tried to keep my eye off of it this morning, but I should say that I am quite taken aback.
I just want you to know people like your costume too, as
Yeah?
Jake. Yeah, they really love it. I just want you to know. Yes.
I've been working on it for weeks.
But what has been happening over the week, we have a lot to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to Couch Talk, Monday Morning Beef. It's very juicy. And what's not juicy or not happy, and a happy thought that we have to be preparing for a storm that's coming up very soon.
Real talk.
Definitely.
The advisory from Met yesterday afternoon said that it TC 15, tropical cyclone 15. This morning the winds are 40 miles an hour, so it's still not a storm, a tropical storm. It's moving west at 12 miles per hour as of 6 a.m. this morning. But up to yesterday, the NEMO office was saying that it will be on the coast of Belize late Wednesday, with landfall possibly in Belize late on Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Strengthening is likely, and tropical cyclone 15 is likely to be a hurricane by landfall on the country. This is very serious.
It is.
Especially for those of us living in coastal communities. We see the storm track as of 3 a.m. this morning, the projected storm track, and that is right. This is just a track, but it's taking it right south of Belize City. We know that any impact on Belize City could be catastrophic.
Definitely.
Because of the poor housing stock
Yes.
in Belize City. So October 31st, 1961, for those of us in the city, we know that's the anniversary of Haiti, right? And we are 60 years.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
today's day would be the 60th anniversary.
That's true.
61st anniversary of Hurricane Hattie. So, Hurricane Hattie was a superstorm. We're hoping this, if it upgrades, if it reaches hurricane strength, it will be a low-grade hurricane. I'm not an expert, but like everybody else, we're watching the information. NEMO is having a press conference this morning via Zoom, so we'll be streaming that on our page. But, it's something that all of us, especially those of us living in coastal communities, are very anxious about, and especially those of us in Belize City, because we know that the city is very vulnerable to flooding due to its low-lying state, and we know that there is very poor housing stock in this city.
Definitely.
I think that's the scary part. I know I heard a very ignorant comment the other day when I was reading through, and people were posting about the storm ahead of time, and somebody like, oh, that's category 1, that's fine, we could handle that. Boy, not say things like that, because we don't know, like you said, the situation of people's different housing, and because of that, people can't handle that. I do also want to make mention to Jules is Ministry of Education put out a statement saying that today we're still having classes for kids.
Right.
However, as of tomorrow until further notice, there's no classes. So for parents out there that are wondering, you can go and check out our Ministry of Education page. They already put that out that today we have classes, but tomorrow we will not have classes until further notice. So Wednesday.
I think we have the notice up here because, a lot of these schools are also hurricane shelters. So I commend the Ministry of Education for this. For taking this
Yeah.
step.
We commend
Right.
everybody. NEMO, Ministry of Education, for
Right.
reacting pretty fast and early into the situation, right?
Exactly.
Not waiting until...
But, and all of us at home, especially those in coastal communities, no matter where you are, and we know that the concentration of coastal communities is Belize to the south. We have Corozal in the north, obviously. But we know that from Belize southward, there are many coastal communities, Dangriga, Placencia, Hopkins, Punta Gorda,
Yeah.
Belize City. Last time when Richard hit, in 2011. That was 10 years ago. It was October 25th. And Richard made landfall, I believe they said, just north of the city in the Ladyville area. But I'm saying, everybody, we need to prepare as well. And, you know, if you have to mobilize your family to go to a shelter, you have to start planning for that now. It's real, and I know people are going through such a challenging time right now with inflation.
To go buy the groceries and everything, but I really want people to take it seriously too. So people, if nothing else, take this warning, follow what Met Service is saying. We're going to be streaming it, so get the correct information and be prepared. And I said, I would just wait till maybe tomorrow, because tomorrow might be too late for make you gather everything. We don't want people to scramble all at the same time and have something crazy. Like, remember when we had lockdown and everybody had to grab toilet paper and it become a whole mess? We don't need that. Try, prepare yourself from now and talk to the relevant, you know, whoever you need to talk to make sure your family is safe.
Significant development of this system, NEMO release, will bring heavy rainfall to the country starting on Wednesday and continuing through to Thursday. So we're all in, you know, even those inland, obviously the impact will be on the coast, but inland, you know, we're going to have flash flooding.
Definitely. We've seen how the roads have been affected with flash floods. So we have to, everybody, plan accordingly. You know, if you need to leave. Then,
So I think that is a segue to our next subject, because I see a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
I see people struggling to survive because of inflation.
Right.
This is a global phenomenon. It's worse in the United States. But you know, the government right now is very, I should say, high on its own supply, right? Because they got a glowing commendation from the IMF, right? The IMF, I think their public information notice on their recent consultations, which they said are the best in 20 years, will be released shortly. I've received an advance copy. It confirms that the economy will have grown by 9.5% in 2022, which is very strong growth. Obviously, this is post-COVID. IMF says strong rebound in tourism and related industry, and they're praising the government for bringing down the debt to GDP ratio. Obviously, that was facilitated by the Blue Bond. They're actually predicting that by 2027, Belize can have a 60% debt to GDP ratio. That's the global benchmark. We were at over 100%.
Yeah.
So these are great steps, and the government sees this and is in a stage of self-congratulation. But the last time, I will remind them, the last time we had 9.5% growth, 13% growth in the year 2000, 9.5 in 1999, led to one of the most grotesque and reckless errors of mismanagement and reckless spending and borrowing in Belize's history. That's what created the super bond. When we had this record growth, 13+% in the year 2000, after that they said, well, open the spigots.
Right.
And they started borrowing commercially. I'm saying that when you have a glowing report like this, the government, everybody in the government starts saying, well, make we eat now.
Things
we never made eat during COVID, now that time for eat. And this is when bloat, greed, and recklessness steps in. Mr. Briceño has to exert maximum restraint and control, because the pressures will come from in the cabinet, the pressures will come from within his party. This the for we time, make we eat now. We made it starve during COVID, make we eat now. This is when recklessness steps in. And that brings us to the subject of allowances. I was intrigued to hear the actually tone-deaf cabinet secretary, totally tone-deaf. You are talking about, first of all, you chose to work in the public service.
Yeah.
You chose to be a CEO. We're talking about the allowances, right? You chose this. You knew what the salary was. They never lie you. You chose it you chose it because you believe in Plan Belize and you want to implement Plan Belize. That is called public service. You know why? Because it's a service. It engenders sacrifice.
Yeah.
But Mr. Leslie, in his tone deaf, he's trying to compare it to private sector CEOs, that is another job. If you want that job, you stay in that job. But no, they want to serve the public. Well, then you must take the salary of 78 or 80,000 a year. So they reintroduced the entertainment allowance. This was a standard entertainment allowance, $1,500. Under the Barrow administration during COVID, they reduced it to $750.
Yeah.
In September, the PUP said, well, the public officers got back their 10%. We want back our full allowance. Don't show that yet, guys. Please, I'll come back to it when it's time. Yeah. So no. That was the 1,500 that was in the news earlier this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, fine. You restored the full allowance. All right. Good. This, you cannot justify these things by saying, well, we run the country. We run a $1 billion economy. That's your business, breads. You want a job. We don't ask you. We don't call their house and say, come here. They're not slave labor. You say, boy, I want to serve the public. I want to put in Plan Belize. I want to help my country. So don't say that you are entitled. We to run a $1 billion economy for real. For real. So good you to run it. That's not how people feel out here. It's tone deaf. It's entitled.
Yeah.
It's the embodiment of entitlement. We are entitled to this. So now we come to the allowances that they don't talk about, and this is the problem with non-disclosure of the government. Disclose the thing, they're not feeling the money. We have some new memos of disclosures of allowances that are given to the Prime Minister's favorite CEOs, his inner clique, Narda Garcia and Amalia Mai. These are allowances that nobody know about because it's for their money. You say the whole thing is that, okay, only to get this 78,000, but we're building up. Okay, so you get 1,500, 18,000 a year for entertainment. So that's 78 plus 18. So that brings you to 96. Okay, we get another allowance. So we can show the allowance for the special allowance for Narda Garcia as CEO of investment. No, that's the wrong one. For Narda Garcia, CEO of investment, that's Amalia Mai's one. Come to the next one. Okay, so that's the wrong one. Come, we're going to show all of that.
It's this one. Yeah.
Narda Garcia, Chief Executive Officer, Office of the Prime Minister, at the rate of $2,000 per month as compensation for additional duties as CEO. This is June 30th, 2021. So that's another $24,000 a year. These aren't disclosed. So Narda Garcia, the Prime Minister CEO, apart from her salary, and apart from her other allowances, and apart from her fuel allowance, sure, let's go and bring in fuel that if coordinate and tax today, you have to get reimbursed. These people get unlimited fuel, not even bring that in. Tone deaf anyway. So this is another allowance, $2,000 per month as compensation for additional duties as Chief Executive Officer Investment, April 1st, 2021. This was never disclosed, so that's another $24,000 a year. So now that you're in the six-figure range. You're above 100,000. But you know, okay, good. And the next one for Amalia Mai, another 2,000 a month. So that's 24,000 a year. You're in the six-figure range. She gets this as SICA compensation for services as SICA ambassador. All right. Bring the next one. Colette Montel, this is a special one. Vice President of the Senate. It's hard for me to explain how irrelevant this role is. The Deputy Speaker of the House is another role. That has some significance because he has to sit in when they're in the Committee of the Whole. The Vice President of the Senate only has to sit in when there is a tinkle break, when the President of the Senate needs to take a restroom break. And you get a $1,000 allowance for this.
Wow.
Jano, you're not serious. They get a $1,000 allowance for a man who operates during a tinkle break. Yo, $1,000 a month for what? There's never been an allowance for this. No, this is a practice that started under the Barrow administration. They give allowance to this member, to that member. Vehicle allowance, you're the head, a committee allowance, deputy speaker allowance. Now the PUP say, well, oh, you made it do that? This is the way we ain't do. We ain't get to the vice president of the Senate who serves no functional role except when the president needs to take a tinkle break. But in investigating this, I find that they have now implemented one vehicle allowance for the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate $1,300 a month. In September, we never had. Now, previously, you claim your mileage.
Yeah.
You get 200 per meeting when you claim your mileage, right? 200.
Right.
And that's because you use your vehicle. So you claim your mileage and you get compensated. But now vehicle allowance, $1,300 monthly vehicle allowance. I never had no house meeting in September. No house meeting in September. I still get vehicle allowance. That's in addition to the 80 gallons of gas they get as a part of their job as speaker or president. I am seeing
It doesn't add up.
that, but,
No,
but
it-
what
it-
I'm
I
saying
don't
is
get it wrong way.
that okay, you see your base salary, yeah? And this was started on a Dean Barrow. We just saying build it up. We build it up, allowance. So all this is hidden. So when we see your salary, we say, okay, Speaker of the House make 36,000. Yeah, that's kind of rough. But then just add it up, allowances. So you get 1,300 a month for your vehicle allowance. So that's another 15,600. Where you see what I'm saying? This is how the political parties, PUDP, reward and hide it in allowance. Right now, if you ask how much Mr. Montejo get, you only get 24,000 as senator, 36,000. But you don't mention that.
Right.
You don't mention this ridiculous allowance that he gets. So anytime Stuart Leslie is there talking about, well, CEOs only make 78,000, and the CEO of BTB make that, the CEO of the, how about all the boards they serve on that they get paid for? How about these hidden allowances that you did not disclose?
Yeah.
Disclose the people allowances, they're not for own the money. Disclose it, man. So don't misrepresent, don't obfuscate. Do not prevaricate, Stuart Leslie. Tell the people the truth. They're not to make 78,000. Then they make allowances on top of that, and they are in the six-figure range.
Yeah.
And they chose this job. We never got arrested and said, do this job. They said, boy, I want help with Plan Belize. But now then they talk about, well, you know, these people were CEOs. Well, I know Amalia made run an Ashcraft company. Narda made run an Ashcraft company smart. I understand the government can't compete. Well, then stay in the Ashcraft job. This is an Ashcraft. This is a public service.
Definitely. Yeah.
But his incomprehension of this, that we run a $1.1 billion economy, that's the way you want to know. That's the way you know the terms. But we're just saying, build it up. You know, and I saw it during the UDP as well. You're on backbencher, so you only get 36,000, but when you put your head of a house committee down 1,000, then when you get another 1,000 vehicle allowance, they just build it up. This
It
is
just starts
how
to add up.
the parties, and they hide it from us. They do it to hide it from us. All these secret allowances. So, there's one more, the Prime Minister's security guard, who is a police officer, get on $1,500 a month additionally. That's $18,000 a year additionally. To just be the Prime Minister's security. We could show the circular, Cherise. So that's the last circular with the highlights on it, right? That I'm saying that these are rewards for loyalists. Special allowance. We can scroll it down. Special allowance at the rate of $1,500 per month to sergeant for performing personal security to the Honorable Prime Minister of Belize. These are rewards, right?
Yeah.
This is how governments. These things are, to me, exceptional and exceptionable. I have a problem with it. I have a problem with non-disclosure. I have a problem with, man, you choose to do this job.
No, indeed.
Right?
Indeed,
Like we should have spent all day to try to say, and then I give allowance to this, and then, oh, you may knock your foot, and give a foot allowance. Oh, you choose to do this job.
I mean, you know, when I think about it, Joe, just quickly, because the thing about 2,000 as allowance, people need to make that as a salary.
And that's what Stuart Leslie, you know, he had the audacity to tell Courtney, come again? Because she said most people don't make that, Courtney Menzies who questioned him. Come again? And she was like, she thought genuinely, man, no here. But he's like, I can't hear that we run a $1.1 billion economy.
That's way above his.
That you choose that, my brother. You want to do that. You want to make it grow to $2 billion. I support you. But don't turn your choice into our burden.
Yeah.
That's what I have a problem with.
I got a problem with a lot of things, but...
You got problems with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Patrick Faber.
Patrick Faber.
Who has
Patrick
also
Faber,
a problem.
he got problem.
He got
With lot of
problem.
things,
Patrick
and
Faber
his
has
party got
problem.
problem with he if he even in at the party still, because the way how this thing set up.
You know, I think, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. First of all, I will say that Patrick Faber is in the political hall of fame. I want to say that.
Okay.
He inherited a division that was historically within 20 votes. It has been within 2 votes. He turned it into a stronghold. He has won it 5 times consecutively. It's a lock. It's the UDP's current strongest seat in the city. It's a lock.
Okay.
He did this because he's a great politician. He's a political scientist. What happened on Friday, that stunt he pulled, was beneath him. That is reserved for fringe politicians. The people I've seen do that are artists. Aldiva did it to the PUP. Protestants at PUP. Mark King did that to the UDP. These are fringe political personalities with no real support base. Patrick Faber is bigger than that event. Patrick Faber was also shouting after Dan Finnegan.
Oh, yes.
You only get 315 votes. I make, man, that is beneath him.
Yeah.
Right.
That is beneath him. You are a 5-term representative in the political hall of fame. You don't need to do that.
But desperation.
He could have, listen, Dean Barrow has a record for most consecutive victories in the city, because Florencia Marin Sr. has it overall. In the city, Dean Barrow has 8 consecutive victories. Patrick Faber is young enough that in his lifetime, he could have eclipsed that.
Okay.
He could see 9 consecutive terms in college. He could see, but I believe that, I don't know what's going to happen in his future, but I'm telling you, his time with the UDP, as long as Shine Barrow is there, is done.
Yeah.
It's done.
They can't work
with that
together.
press conference. You know why they can't work together? They're actually the same person.
They
You know
are.
why they're never in the same place? They're actually the same person. They are the same person. I checked it because I run outside and I see Faber run back inside and I say, Shine, that's a joke. No, but I believe they're actually the same person. They're both diseased narcissists, malignant narcissists.
Yeah.
Malignant narcissists with a severe, they get egomaniacal fits of fancy. They are the same person, so they can never agree. Because fence can't hold 2 bulls in at the pen. They cannot coexist.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as Shine Barrow is leader, I do not see Patrick Faber returning to UDP.
Yeah.
And I
They're
see
going to
that.
take this petition. It's going to be dragged out in court.
And he did mention that either he's with the UDP or not, but he's still going to run for that
And if he doesn't run,
constituency. Yeah.
he doesn't run with the UDP, he will not win.
That's true. Because we know how people vote. They're
He
not,
doesn't
they don't
accept
vote
that.
independent candidates.
But that
Like,
crowd he had out there, that was not a, you
was
know, he
small.
had 15
But he also
people.
said too as well, that's just showing the minuscule amount that, could bring up because there were last minute things.
Don't
about,
bring
like,
your
sexual-
knife to a gunfight. This is a gunfight, yo.
Yeah.
You got to bring guns blazing.
Right.
I understand things have, but I am just saying that that event was beneath him. And his behavior, they holler after Dan Finnegan, to insult her, insulting her. These things happen in politics, but you not fit do it.
Yeah.
Somebody in your camp fit do it. You not fit do that. You're above that. You're the most senior UDP elected representative. You're in the political hall of fame. So, and all I heard at his press conference, it was incoherent, it was bitter, it was rambling, it was all this self-regard, it was self-engorged, and to some extent it was delusional, because what's your end game? In politics, it's a battle. If you're in a battle, everything you do has to be, okay, how does this help me achieve my end? He wants to run for the UDP.
Right.
That's what he wants to do. How does that help you, though? How does what you did help you? And that shows, regardless of the countless criticisms we may have for Shine Barrow has positioned himself, has ensconced himself as leader, where he put Patrick Faber, a man far superior to him in political achievements. Shine put him in check. And on Friday, Patrick Faber walked into checkmate.
Yeah.
He put himself into checkmate.
Yeah.
I think, end of story with Patrick Faber and UDP, as long as Shine is there. But It's a
Like,
Maybe he
fluid
has,
situation.
maybe he
saga
has some tricks
continues.
underneath his sleeve.
Yes.
You don't know.
It's
The
a-
way how they set up, you never know, you know, Jules.
It's tough though.
Yes.
Shine got the key for the
Yeah.
Shine and Mike per feet and he can't get past.
I feel like after that recall gone, the way gone, things just,
Yeah.
if you get back to a place, I don't know. I know the seat.
Yeah.
I know the seat, the
But
recall.
but you know it's a crazy party, so anything can happen.
Any-
Right,
Anything
Jules. So let's move on
possible.
to our next item, and that's the emergence of the Belize Coalition
Well,
of Healthcare Providers.
you know the disarray in the UDP. It shows that these groups are having to form. We have the logo for the Belize Coalition of Healthcare Providers. If you can bring up that logo, the Belize Coalition is the combination of the Belize Medical and Dental Association, the Carl Euchner Memorial Hospital Authority, and the Nurses Association of Belize. And the Carl Euchner Memorial Hospital Authority Workers Union.
Right.
I am saying, this is what happened to Said Musa in 2005 when unions started coming together under a common cause. But they had the opposition, and the opposition had Mike Lashcroft's money. There's no opposition. There's no opposition right now. So I'm
There's
saying
no
that,
money either.
that this right here, this little group right here, that the PUP rightly sees as a political emergency, because they have to actively try and destabilize or broke up the group or satisfy them, appease them.
Yes.
Because this little group is dangerous. Because these are the people that Belizeans trust with their health. These are the Belizeans, and they are coming together to say, you have failed, Ministry of Health. So I'm sorry to be self-referential. But you could send out as much press release about Channel 7 or Sun Up they sent last time. These are the people who are saying it. This is how true it is.
Yeah.
These are the people who are saying it. The medical professionals of Belize. This is a very serious coalition of healthcare providers. It's the first time these people have come together. And they are all coming together to say, we do not have material to work.
Right.
The system is broken. And the biggest example of this, in my mind, is the KHMH's inability to get a CT scan. And it is a failure of the board of directors. The thing was put out to tender. The board of directors was unable, for whatever reason, lack of leadership or whatever, to come up to say, we got it on tender, we pick this one, we pick that one. They could not. They could not come to agreement. If you cannot fulfill a core function of a hospital, just getting a piece of imaging equipment, my brother, you gotta go. You have to resign. You have to resign. It's like we're not gonna camera the work. And I can't pick on camera. I can't get on camera. All we meet and they say, I want this camera. We can't get one. No, boy, I can't. I don't like your choice. I don't like your choice. And the whole thing
like
broke
that,
up.
yeah.
That's basically what happened. They made a choice. I understand that it didn't receive maximum approval. So now the Ministry of Health to try to get a CT scan. If you as a board cannot just say, yo, we need this urgently. People, it's affecting our patients. It's affecting our product that we deliver.
Yeah.
They had a non-revenue choice. You know, somebody would tell them, here what? I will give you this. Every time I do a CT scan, and give me $50. Pay as you go.
Wow.
Wow.
But they couldn't agree on that because I want this one. Oh, no, I don't like that one. This is what I'm saying. It's a total mess that the healthcare system is in, and healthcare, these are core services of government. So the government is very high on its IMF report, right? But
Exactly.
these are the things, these are housekeeping of running a country, that you have a healthcare system that works at the most basic level.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you could be up in the clouds. We had the best IMF meeting in 20 years. I hear you. Economy confirmed growth at 9%. Awesome. And unemployment down.
Yeah.
But people want basic services, housekeeping. How do you the house? I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about you got a garden fix up. I want to know where we got in at the pantry, and that is the big concern. But I've said too much.
Yeah.
I should have been shuffled off the stage.
No, it was a good comment. I left
was
it.
really
I
yes,
make
yes.
it slide this
You make
time.
it slide.
Because
It's
no,
Halloween.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
And I'm a Grinch.
No, you're not.
Sorry, Jake from State Farm.
Get it together,
Jake from
Jules.
State Farm. I'm tangled up in the ghost.
Spider.
You should have put that on your head,
Ghost.
you know. That would
The
have worked
spider
good for
web.
you.
Yes, anything would work good for my head.
But thank you so much, Jules,
Thank you,
for
guys.
That's a
being a
good
part
one.
of this conversation. A lot of people are thankful. They say, thank you for the investigative journalism, for to bring up these, the different memos and stuff, make people say exactly what happened. Because nobody will say, let us talk, like, you might work against your word, tell the black and white say it.
Exactly. Stuart, do a big interview.
Oh, but I also want to make you know somebody, and if you find the person, say, that made me holler after the person from Lakei and not Patrick Faber.
Okay.
So somebody apparently come to the
Alright.
rescue and
So
said it was not him.
We're
I'm
wrapping
not
up
too
the
sure.
Monday morning beef with a flash mob of Thriller that happened at the University of the West Indies here in Belize City.
Yes, they had their
Yeah.
Pelican Market day this Saturday that went out, and there was an amazing flash mob. And there's also a flash mob on Albert Street too, as well, as I heard. So big up to all the people that were a part of it. We're gonna give you that,
So
a
let's
different
see,
little vibe
yeah.
this morning.
Let's see how that
And
went.
when we're back, we're gonna be talking to Transparent BPO about their Halloween fair that's coming up very soon and upcoming recruitment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.